Hello, beautiful beings. It's a lunar eclipse. It was last night, and it's incredibly intense. And when I tell people that I'm feeling whatever's going on planetarily, it feels like a combination of different things. Intense frustration in my body. There's an intensity in my body that I feel that used to really take me over because I thought that's just how I was feeling. It feels like frustration and agitation and really impatient. So, I feel it coming, and with practice, I've been able to observe it more and go, wow, okay, I'm really feeling like this today. And then I ask other people how they're feeling, and 9 times out of 10, they're feeling exactly the same way, but don't know why. And so that helps a lot. Because normally, if I'm feeling intensity like that in my body, my mind automatically goes to thoughts that correlate with the intensity that I'm feeling in my body. But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. The only thing that happened for me during this lunar eclipse was I locked myself out of a yoga studio that I was cleaning last night. And but I had made a spare key 2 weeks ago for my car. I had put it off for years, and I did it. Yeah, I just did it. So I had a spare key. I didn't have to walk in the rain. It was awesome. It all worked out. And when it happened, the moment I realized that I was locked out, I stopped and I got present. I turned my attention the best I very could, to the best of my ability. I turned my attention from the situation, being locked out, having my keys and my phone in the building. And I was just like, okay, I'm getting present. And it took me a minute, but I was able to turn my attention, because it's, my mind's like, we got to do something. What are you going to do? Oh my gosh, you're locked out. It's raining. You can't get home. All these thoughts, just a flurry of them. And so I was able to take my attention back to presence, even just for a few moments. I know that is absolutely the key for me. It's not just going into thinking mode and going with that stream, because that's frantic and, well. So I was able to do that, and what popped in was, oh, I made a spare key. So I got in my car and drove to my daughter's house. She lives right down the road from there. And I asked to use her phone. And so I called the person that knew the number of the lady that I was working for, and she didn't answer. So, of course I tried a few times because I didn't have my phone. I was just like, wow, I think I'm addicted to being on my phone, because the withdrawals that I felt like I was going through, my mind was so nutso just from knowing I wasn't going to have my phone for the whole night. Wow. Okay, so I was standing there in my daughter's house, and I was just like, wow, I'm having a really hard time accepting this, of letting this go and just coming back in the morning and getting my phone. So I just literally just stood there in her house and just kept turning my attention back to presence, because my mind wanted to think about the situation. But that's, for me, I've learned, and my teachers have taught me, that thinking about something, it seems the very opposite of what we've all been taught to do in our lives, or how, well, it just seems automatic, but I don't know if it's automatic. Oh, fear. They're saying times of fear in our life makes the mind, try to seek out a solution really, really quick. Fight or flight. I don't know if that's it or not, if that's the same thing, but fight or flight. No, it's not the same thing. Anyway, so I was able to get centered again. That's the whole practice. To me it is from going from my mind to presence, and then my mind, when thoughts do come in, then it's from my mind's natural state of being is in presence. So whatever solution I need is going to come to me more quickly when I'm able to turn my attention back to presence, where there's basically no thoughts. They're on my peripheral. I'm back in presence. Ah, and it does bring relief. Even with that flurry of activity going on in my mind, it brings relief and kept me, I still felt frustrated and agitated, but I also realized that evening, as I was cleaning, my best friend called me and I told her that there was a lunar eclipse coming and a supermoon on the 23rd. And man, oh man, I felt like I was feeling it already. That was before I locked my keys in the building. And she said, it is the 23rd. So I was just like, oh, that explains a lot. Oh my gosh. So I came home and man, oh man, I had such an amazingly lovely evening. It was very peaceful. I was able to let go of the phone situation and accept it. And I knew it was happening for a reason. And so what I learned from not having my phone last night was I'm going to do that more often. Not leave my phone somewhere, but have, so, I'll, even if I have Eckhart playing in the background while I'm painting. I'm painting in my, I named it last night. My home, it's my geode, because I'm going to keep it basically the same on the outside, but I'm painting and doing the inside just so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm really excited about it. So I came home and did that, and I can have something playing on my phone and I'm listening to it, and it can be inspirational or whatever. But I realized last night that really no matter what it is, if I have it on all the time, that's not, I need more quiet. So I am always striving to find balance with things, and it's, instead of like black and white, my mind has always went, okay, you need to just stop this, or yeah, just stop. Either do it or don't do it. And I like to really just keep trying to find balance with things. And if I come to a point in myself where I cannot find balance with it, then I absolutely do need to let it go. Oh, ancients, what else do we want to talk about? Lately, I've really been having a shift in perception in the way that I love people. For so long, I was always looking for somebody, and I didn't know this. I was looking for somebody to love me in the way that I felt like I needed loved. Well, that's my personal identity that needed that. So somehow, well, it's just conditioning. We all go through it. It's nobody's fault. It's life on planet Earth. We all get conditioned in certain ways. So I didn't realize it, but I was trying to love other people the way that I felt they needed to be loved, instead of the way that I can love them. So it was a lot more mental activity in there than I realized. But recently I fully realized it. There's no end to the depth of freedom that I can experience in this physical form. The realizations never ever stop. Wow. So loving other people, it has freed me up so much. I am not kidding. Almost on a daily basis, I had mind activity about, well, the thought that I wasn't loving people like they needed to be loved, like people, that I'm really close to. What a torturous thing to be thinking. And that I just, I need to do more for them. Whatever the thoughts were, it just was never good enough how I was loving them. But it is now. It is absolutely good enough. Oh my gosh, it's just so lovely. And having a realization like that, it just keeps growing. It just keeps expanding out into my life in different situations. And the one thing that I've just been, and I don't know if anybody realizes this, anybody close to me realizes this, but I have known for a really long time that I have needed to find balance as far as trying to help people. I don't want to be a deterrent. I'm crying because it can be really embarrassing to display a certain behavior over and over and not be able to, change it right away. And I know that about other people too. And I've been so hard on certain people because I didn't feel like they were doing anything to help themselves. I mean, not enough, not anything, but enough, you know, uh, and that is just a fear. That's a fear, and that's control. That's controlling out of fear because I feel like the person is like sinking and I can't do anything about it. Well, I can't do anything about it unless the person wants my help. And I know that might seem oversimplistic, but it's multifaceted, they're saying. The ancients are saying it's multifaceted. I've been beating myself up way too much because of it, but I feel like I have. Divine, please help me balance the emotions I'm feeling right now. With the eclipse and the full moon, like I barely have any control over my emotions at all. It's all so intense. The joy, the whatever, it's just all intense right now. So I feel like people have left me in my life because I've pushed them to grow. Here's one situation. I had a best friend from childhood. We were best friends for 34 years. Uh, I thought it was a certain way, but it wasn't that way. And, I found out that it wasn't. I thought that we were exactly on the same page for the whole time, but we weren't. And a few times through our friendship, this person told me, you drive me insane, you drive me crazy. All of a sudden she'd say it. There was no indicators. We talked every day about everything, and then all of a sudden she'd get really quiet, and oh my gosh, it would just make my stomach hurt so bad because we talked every day about everything. So that change would just have me on edge. And the last time it happened, I said, what is it? You haven't spoke to me for 2 days. And I was living in her camper at the time. It was shortly after I woke up with Muji, and I had been married, and I left him the week I woke up with Muji, and I didn't have anywhere to go, and we'd been best friends for 34 years. So I called her, and she said, yeah. And it had always been our dream, I thought, to actually live together. We were going to be the old ladies with the cats, and well, dogs for me. And so that's what was in my mind, and that we were doing that. And she had had surgery, and I was helping take care of her, and it just felt absolutely amazing. It felt like I was home. But one day, she got quiet, and I said, what is it? Is it me? Like, is it, please tell me, what is it? And she looked at me and she said, if I have to worry about you worrying about our relationship, I don't know if it's going to last. Something like that. Something like we're breaking up. And I just felt like she hit me in the stomach, and I just knew that I couldn't take that type of rejection one more time. I didn't even know what it was that I was doing to annoy her so bad. There was this thing that happened after I woke up with Muji, to where I had this divine wisdom coming through, this clear cognizance, just this clear knowing about things, and it was really, really shocking. It shocked her a lot too. Right in the beginning, she was just like, how did you remember that? How did you know that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Something happened when I woke up with Muji, and so when something would come up, this answer would just come out, and she'd look at me like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know where this is coming from. Well, I know now it was coming from presence. And so there's been a major practice over the years to not let that, just that, I sound like a know-it-all sometimes to people. I do, because I wasn't used to, I went from thinking I was an incredibly unintelligent person to having this divine wisdom come through. And it would just come out, and it was so beautiful to me. I felt like a completely different person. But it was a repellent to other people, and I completely see that now. And I you know, I'm letting go of any of the conditioned ways that of controlling, out of love or out of fear or anything like that. I'm still practicing, and I will not give up practicing until I can actually be around, well, people. And this is kind of my goal. This I believe that I can achieve this. I believe that it's possible to actually be around somebody that I love, or anybody. I'm holding satsang now. I started last week. I've been holding satsang with individuals, but now I'm doing it in a group setting. It was time. It was absolutely time. And I know that because it happened. It's been 8 years since I woke up with Muji this month. And I didn't know when I was going to get to start doing it. I just knew that I would at some point. And it just unfolded. That's the best way I can describe it right now. So I really want to get to the point where when I listen to somebody talk about their problems, and it evokes. It's not anything I'm doing. It evokes a solution inside of me, and I feel compelled to let it out. But what I'm learning is, yeah, see, and it comes from here. It doesn't come from here, but to people that aren't ready for that information, it seems like it's coming from here, and that, oh, I know better and I know what you need to do for your life. No, I do not. So when I feel compelled, divine, please guide all the words that I feel I want to say that come up when somebody is talking about a problem that they're having. Amen. Of course, I pray about these things all the time, but it never ever hurts to pray about it more. I'm treating it. It's a spiritual antibiotic, prayer is. So I got really, really scared because I have a new best friend now, and I came to a point in myself yesterday where I realized I had to really, really let go of any of, well, she told me no. She told me, don't do that. Do not squish down what comes out for me. Do not squish down the information that comes through for me. Oh, what a gift that was. Oh my gosh. But I'm still, I mean, that's just so beautiful. I was just terrified yesterday that she was going to leave me like my other friend did. This is what I'm shedding during this lunar eclipse and supermoon. The thought that somebody could actually leave me because I'm me. Well, I don't really want that person in my life anyway. You know, if I'm that much of an annoyance to them, just being myself, you know, I know that I can be a handful. I'm a very intense person. Because I feel things so intensely, the planets, the collective consciousness, it's called being an empath, intensely empathic. So I've been trying to navigate my way through that. And when I love somebody, like I used to love my best friend so much, and she would be in so much pain, like mental and emotional pain, and talking to me about something, the solutions, I wanted to give her solutions, because I can't just, and I know this, I absolutely know this about myself. I'm sorry, I got a little bit right my nose. I cannot just sit and listen to somebody vent or complain about what's going on in their life without, and they don't want a solution. They don't want to like talk about it and resolve it and bring it to a new place. If they just want to dump on me and complain about their problems, yes, that will bring them a certain level of relief. However, if that's all they want to do, and there's no process, yes, sometimes just talking of, obviously, talking about a situation, a challenge, talking with somebody about it isn't just calling them and just talking to them and dumping it all on the person and then it's saying, oh, okay, I feel so much better. Thank you so much for listening. It's a part of it, being heard and letting it out. However, there has to be a back and forth communication. That's how the divine gets in there and creates a solution and brings it to another place, elevates it, they're saying, elevates it, lifts it up out of where it was, well, the mind, and takes it more from person to presence. And so we can see it from the true perspective instead of fear or anxiety or any of that. So that's what satsang is in a nutshell, is a heart-to-heart conversation that brings deep relief. Oh, so she's not going to leave me. And that still cannot be, I cannot let fear come in and obstruct what the divine wants to have come through this clear open channel. Well, I'm still working on it being clear. I'm still cleaning it out. So the gift that I've received the lately, the biggest gift I've received lately is, I'm so sorry, this is what happens when there's eclipse and, you know, a supermoon and all that going on. I have a hard time forming my words. Oh, yeah, it's because I'm going faster. Like the energy coming through me is so intense. I'm still practicing on going more slowly. So the greatest gift that I've received lately is to see out of my eyes when I'm loving somebody from myself, not from my mind. Oh, just so beautiful. Really quite incredible. All the shoulds are gone. Just, I don't even realize it all yet. But there's so much less mind activity. And that's the name of the game for me. The mind activity will be there when it needs to be, but not in the frantic way, the proper way, the not even proper way, the natural state. Natural state for my mind is really what I want, because all the information that comes through for other people in satsang comes from a place of presence. I can't go into satsang without having turned my attention to presence, because then I would be trying to tell people what I think that they should do. And that vibrationally never ever works for either one of us. It's draining for both people. So everybody that I love and everybody that I encounter, please know that I am working diligently on these things. This new place, this place that I'm holding satsang, it is so beautiful. I am live streaming it on YouTube when I do it, because I can't live stream it on YouTube yet. It says that one of the requirements for doing that is I need to have 1,000 subscribers. So if anybody watching my YouTube videos would like to watch my live streams on Facebook, I will give you the information for that. I feel like I am done with this video. Ancients, is there anything else we want to talk about right now? Oh. They would like for me to remind everyone about the fear prayer because it is so potent. It helps dig the fear out by the taproots. It is remove this fear and direct my attention to what you would have me be. Person doesn't have to be religious to say prayers. Prayers are, it's a way of changing our vibration because we are vibration. There are certain people that don't know, especially younger ones, that if you look at our body in a microscope and really, I don't know, magnify it, like really zoom in. I don't know the lingo for that, but we're not solid. Nothing is solid. Our body is not solid. There's space in between everything. So saying the fear prayer helps raise the vibration in our body and helps lift us out of lower vibrations that tend to help us feel stuck. Not necessarily physically, but mentally. Physically too though, because if I feel stuck mentally, I feel tired and weak and no energy. My hose is kinked. My light hose is kinked. So please, if you feel stuck in anything and you just need to have a heart-to-heart conversation, I am here. slotsongwithmamag@gmail.com if you'd like to email me or leave me a comment in the comment section. And I just love you so much.